Our next paper session is a dynamic duo of David Levy and Randall Rosenfield. And it's got the biggest title of anything in the whole GA, so I'll just let them explain what they're going to do. Is there
There is. What the hell? Oh, there it is. It's under David's name.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There's just one, right?
It's really
All right.
quite easy to explain. It's David Levy and his very small Elizabethan orchestra. You guys can hear me? Oh, good. I'll get you later, Randy. As some of you know, David spent a lot of his academic time looking at reflections of astronomical phenomena and awareness of astronomy in Renaissance English literature. And he's written several books on it. Well, there's music that goes with that. So what we're going to do is David is going to read some of his favorite passages from that stuff, except for the last one, which is from the 19th century. And I didn't want to say no, because he gives me that face. So, and it's going to. So the passages are going to alternate with music from Shakespeare's time, and that's music with astronomical connections. And some of it is actually written by members of the Huygens family. Oh, and well, last thing I should say, this is a copy of a 16th century flute. So this is what Shakespeare could have heard.
To say that I am honored to be giving a presentation along with someone of the ilk of Randall Rosenfield is a real understatement. I would like to begin with a little bit of a personal story. That we became friends at the GA in St. John's. I was there to sort of give some assistance to our incoming president, national president, Peter Jedicke over there, who is in our audience today. And on the way home, I got to sit on the airplane with Randall from Newfoundland to Toronto. And he sort of asked me about certain things, and the conversation came up about the observing logs that I keep, and that I would be donating them to the Linda Hall Library and after my passing. And he said, well, forget your passing. How about donating the online version to the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada? Because Randall is the national archivist. I wonder if we know how privileged we are to have someone like Randall as our national archivist. Someone as modest and as wonderful as Randall is.
Cost me a lot of money to get him to say that.
He was given the Service Award last year, or a couple of years ago, at the Ottawa GA. And I remember that he responded with his typical self-effacing humor. And he was, at the time I suggested that maybe, responding to a major award with humor might not be the best way to do it. But what I didn't know is that this is Randall. This is the man he is, and the person we have to let him be the person that he is. And let's all take a deep breath and applaud the services of this wonderful person, Randall Rosenfield. I'm going to begin with a little bit of a surprise. This is an anonymous quotation, and those of you who would like to know who did it, who said it first, who wrote it first, can ask me after the presentation is over. But it goes like this: our fondness for the stars has touched our souls. We all share the feeling of discovery, whether the object we have found is new to all or new only to us. That thrill penetrates our being as we try to describe through drawings, photographs, or words how we have been changed by a universe sharing a secret with us. I first discovered William Shakespeare in astronomy while I was a student at Acadia. And the more I read this passage, the more I try to appreciate the knowledge, the breadth of knowledge and wisdom that Shakespeare had in so many areas. But here he is writing the speech for Gloucester. These late eclipses in the sun and moon portend no good to us. Though the wisdom of nature can reason it thus and thus, yet nature finds itself scourged by the sequent effects. Love cools, friendship falls off, brothers divide, in cities mutinies, in countries discord, in palaces treason. and the bond cracked twixt son and father. This villain of mine comes under the prediction. There's son against father. The king falls from bias of nature. There's father against child. We have seen the best of our time. Hollowness, treachery, and all ruinous disorders follow us disquietly to our graves. His offense, honesty, 'tis strange. And then his son says, this is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the subverts of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if we were villains on necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treachers by spherical predominance. Dad that I was inheriting his love of Shakespeare, he told me that wasn't enough. He says, I need to delve a little bit more into the Renaissance, early modern period. And then he said I would find a early 17th century version of Rosenfeld and Levy, who got together to do things that they enjoyed so much. And what he was referring to was Beaumont and Fletcher. And in 1605, Fletcher wrote The Woman Hater. Is it so much, and yet the morn not up? See yonder where the shamefaced maiden comes into our sight. How gently does she slide, hiding her chaste cheeks like a modest bride with a red veil of blushes. And now we skip ahead a number of centuries to my favorite poet and my favorite poem. I got into this from Norman Mackenzie at Queen's when I was doing my master's degree. And it gives me a deep honor to be able to recite my favorite poem ever. I am like a slip of comet, scarce worth discovery, in some corner seen bridging the slender difference of two stars, come out of space or suddenly engendered by heady elements, for no man knows. But when she sights the sun, she grows and sizes and spins her skirts out, while her central star shakes its cocooning mists. And so she comes to fields of light. Millions of traveling rays pierce her. She hangs upon the flame-cased sun and sucks the light as full as Gideon's fleece. But then her tether calls her. She falls off, and as she dwindles, sheds her smock of gold amidst the sistering planets, and then goes out into the cavernous dark. So I go out, my little suite is done. I have drawn heat from this contagious sun. To not ungentle death, now forth I run. That was truly remarkable. Which, so do I have to start all over? So that was truly remarkable, even more truly remarkable, and brings us back to Will Shakespeare, Will of the World, as one of his biographers called him. Come, gentle knight, come, loving, black-browed knight, give me my Romeo, and when he shall die, take him and cut him in little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun.
I've run out of music. Thank you, David.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to close with the poem that I forgot to read last night because I think I was a little bit more stressed than I thought I was during the presentation. And it's from Robert Frost. You know, the subtitle of my book is The Road Not Taken. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thank you very much for your time.